Hello and good evening and welcome to Fuji International Speedway for the second race of SimFx 1 hour endurance racing with the Group 3 cars. All front engine, rear wheel drive cars, and yeah, all on the soft tyre I believe, probably at the start. So let's go through the grid. Mulson in first, Ginger Tim in second. Going to try and do this quickly compared to last week, so bear with me. Still quite long. Paul K Gaming in third, Adey Gee in fourth, B Cooney in fifth, sixth Phil 1979, Basinger in seventh, Phoenix in eighth. Oh, give you a little shot. Ninth is Jamie Jammer. Still not sure. Not Jamie Jammer or what? Yeah, Jamie. I don't know. Anyway, still. Setstones in 10th, Pro in 11th, SimFx F1, it's Murphy in 12th, 13th, El Cooney 2K, and 14th is Jacob Kajar, and 15th is SimFx Skid Guru. So decent qualifying from everyone, and there's just a quick little thing I want to mention. Not in any way bragging or anything, but I had quite a good time in qualifying, and it headed me up for quite a long period in qualifying where I was in first, and I thought I was pretty comfortable with my lap. And then I think I could be wrong with this. This is just my suspicions, but with the fuel load coming down on the cars as qualifying goes through the half an hour, then you pit later on for new tyres, and I hope people were doing this, otherwise I'm giving everyone the bloody idea of doing it. But yeah, Mulson, I suspect, Ginger Tim, Paul K especially, and potentially other people, but I did do it, but I pitted a bit too early, and then I left it a bit too long. Anyway, I think they probably pitted when they had the shortest fuel load and got the last couple of laps in with new tyres. So I'm not revealing your secrets, guys. It's one of those things. But yeah, you can do that, and I think that's what they did to knock me off my spot where I thought I was okay. I definitely didn't think I was going to keep pole, but I thought I might be second or third. Maybe I was expecting to be third, if I'm completely honest. But anyway, with the time that I did. So yeah, I was surprised, but good little tactic, so fair enough. I like it. It's good. Anyway, we'll crack on, and I believe this takes ages because of the rolling start. So just from watching it last night, I haven't watched this fully. I've just watched a few moments from last night. Tim will know what I'm on about. But I won't mention that. Yeah, I'm watching it all, so just going to catch the action like I tried to do last week in the last video. Do apologise for the video not having the ending included in it. It's because I can only capture an hour's worth of video without streaming or anything, so that's how I prefer to do these videos. So yeah, again with this one, it'll end up being over an hour, so there will be a second video. I'll give you a heads up on that straight away. There will be a second video with the last couple of laps on probably, and the last like 5-10 minutes maybe. So already Paul K looking fruity down the inside of Ginger Tim, following Mulson into the next couple of corners. I'm right behind as well. Phil follows us, and then we've got Ginger Tim in fifth now, after that mistake in the first corner. B Cooney in sixth, Basinger in seventh, and Phoenix in eighth. So a good start from everyone, trying to find their way around the first lap. Always feels a bit uncomfortable for me personally, I don't know why. You can do as many laps in practice as you like, but that first lap always feels a little bit, just can't explain it, just don't ever feel completely right. Second lap's no problem, but so who was that going wide? I think that was Cooney going wide there. Phil already making tracks, and he opened to fourth. Ginger Tim right behind him. be honest, I have tried doing a video already, a commentary video, but I got about 5 minutes in and I didn't know what to say because there was so much going on, so I'm just going to keep quiet at the moment here and just watch the action, because there's honestly quite a lot going on, so I don't really know what to stick with or what to say. Yeah, so I'll just try and commentate on what I see. So I've got a big move from the two-factor fly GTR down the inside. It's good, cleanly done. Following the Jag now, and Phoenix finds himself back in 10th now. Goes back to Bird, his teammate behind him. El Cooney 2K. So the Jags are split by the Masters. SimFx Guru. Oh, there's already a stop going on for SimFx F1 Murphy. I ended up having a pretty early stop. I don't want to just talk about my race, but had a bit of contact and an early stop, so I ended up with damage and I had to stop really, otherwise I was just going to lose too much time. So it ended up coming good in the end. I had to get my head down for a lot of the race and race on my own, but at the same time it allowed me to put in half decent lap times and pretty consistently, so I managed to get a bit of a race out of it at the end, and overtook a few people on my alternative strategy. So end up coming, well, what's it, just in case you haven't watched this race and you weren't part of it. So back with Molson, pulling a bit of a lead now to Paul. Let's flip up the camera angles a bit. So Phil up into third now, he's overtaken me. I go shooting off there. Ginger Tim goes shooting off there, so not a great corner for us too. Which gives B. Cooney the place, or a couple of places I think. Basinger's up a couple of places too. I think there was a bit of contact from me and Tim into the first corner, so ended up with damage, and Tim did as well, I believe. So we ended up pitting early as well. I think we both came in on this lap. Just scan through the field, see if we can see any action anywhere. So I've dropped into 9th now with that off. And where's Tim? Tim's ended up in 13th because of that mistake into the first corner. A bit of a gap to these guys, not much action going on at the back there. Sorry about not featuring you too much at the back. I hope you understand. I'm just trying to purely watch the action really. We could all watch cars go around the track all day long, but we want to watch the racing at the end of the day. El Cooney 2K being chased by SimFx Skid Guru. He had a good race last week. Looking at the back of my teammate most of the race. So an early pit there on the right from me, I believe. Yep. And I think Tim probably follows me in shortly. Let's go back up, see if there's much going on. Stetson straight in the GTR, two-factor fly. It's about the only sponsor thing I've picked up so far, I'll be honest, sorry. And someone told me to stop apologising, so yeah. I'll try. I nearly said it again then. The S word. Anyway, Stetson's following Jacob. Following Phoenix. Let's have a look at the front, see if we're a bit closer to each other. So Phil looking good in third place. I think he started in 5th if I remember rightly. So he's made up a few places, and we all know Phil's fast from last week. Last week the Red Bull Ring, I believe it was, if I remember rightly. I do too much racing, it's hard to remember. Started playing Dirt 2 Rally if anyone's interested as well, and doing a bit of videos of those. Dirt Rally 2, what am I on about? If anyone's interested, yeah, I've got some few videos of that on my YouTube. I'm not here just to promote myself like, but check them out if you fancy it. So down the inside, on the very inside, goes Jacob in front of Phoenix. Phoenix was thinking, nah, I'm not having that, but ends up messing it up with his braking there and going wide. So Stetstones makes good from that and takes the place of 7th. Phoenix down into 8th. An opportunity miss there from Phoenix. Just got too carried away with his braking. So here I am down in 13th, following Jamer. Not that I can see him, but that's me, the guy I want next. Ginger Tim, no one in front of him, so I'll have to come back to them guys later on when they're back in the race. Stetstone's 270 following Jacob. Bit of a gap to everyone, I don't know where to go to be honest. There's not a lot going on at the moment. So we'll stick with Phil and Paul. Looks like the closest little tussle going on. Phil trying to get a good exit and getting the slipstream of Paul. He's got it hooked up, he's pulling him in now. Get him as late as possible. So Paul thinks defensive, but don't go defensive enough to force him to come back to the outside. Phil down the inside, gets the braking done and takes 2nd place from Paul. Oh, in front there, Mulson into the barrier. Oh, Mulson, bad mistake, sorry to rub it in like, but whoa, unlucky. So I didn't realise that happened in this race. So gifted Phil the lead. So Phil only just took 2nd place off Paul, and then Mulson hitting the barrier just gave him 1st straight afterwards. So Phil must just think this is too easy for him. I don't know how he manages to get this look, Phil, but he does. So it already seems like it in the first 2 races. Obviously I'm not taking away anything from Phil's skill. He's obviously a very fast, good racer, but seems to get that little bit of luck that makes a bit of difference as well at the same time. So Paul's battling hard with him, right on his bumper. Paul, the Milwaukee teammate to me. Quickly go down the field in a minute, but I kind of want to see what happens here. So he's pulled a tiny gap there on Paul, but it's all about getting this corner right onto the straight. So can Paul keep in his slipstream? Can Paul reel him back in the same way he did to Paul? I don't think he can. No. Phil's pulled across a little bit to break the slipstream as well. So it looks like Phil holds the lead for now. Good little battle going on there. Paul did mention this in a couple of the messages. He had a good battle with Phil. Funnily enough, I had a good battle with Phil last week, so he's definitely a good racer to race against if you get a chance. B. Cooney in 3rd, looking good. I'm liking B. Cooney, I don't really know who he is, but he's been messaging quite a bit, and he seems very keen and he's good. 3rd place with Basinger right behind him in the Evo. See what Basinger does into this corner. Hard on the brakes into this corner. It seems so slow when you're actually driving it. So it looks like the tyres are going off a little bit at the rear there for Basinger. Just a bit of a moment with oversteer. I think a fair few more people were running without traction control this week compared to last week as well. I was. Sorry about the cough. And again, I'll stop apologising, but I can't help it. Just try and be polite. It's the way I've been brought up. Blame my mum if anything. Not really my dad, but my mum. Anyway, Paul's still chasing Phil. Very close between them. Basinger looking to reel them in. Oh, Stetson's just catch him as he has a moment. Looks like he's gone wide. So Phoenix is now sniffing a chance. B. Cooney following Phoenix quite closely as well, so interesting to watch this a little bit. Also Cooney's down the inside of Phoenix. Yes, good move. Oh, Phoenix ends up going really wide and giving Jacob the place as well. So it looks like Phoenix has had a bit of a bad race this race. Not skill level, just like I was saying about Phil, he just seems to get the look. He just looks a bit unlucky. Phoenix just keeps ended up in the wrong line at the wrong place at the wrong time kind of thing. Not being able to do anything about it. Looks like I might have just got past El Cooney here. I remember overtaking him around about this point in the race. So trying to get myself back into the race now from that early pit stop. Trying to drag myself back into it with decent lap times basically. Looking on the right, I won't put in the best lap times though, but quite consistent saying that. So back with Phoenix. No, we'll go right down to the bottom and see what's going on. So SimFx F1 Smurfette right at the back, Jammer right at the back. Don't know if these guys are pitted though. Ginger Tim still in 13th. Again, had damage early on, so had to pit. Mulson in 12th. So Mulson was in first not so long back, so I suspect that he's pitted for new tyres to drop right back into 12th anyway. I don't think that mistake that we saw him made dropped him all that way back eventually. Good to see the tyres glowing, not the tyres, the brake discs glowing in the middle of the wheels there. Always good to see. Love that detail in these racing games these days. It's brilliant that they can do all this kind of stuff and make it as realistic as possible. And it's only ever going to get better, so all the new games, all the new technology, it's only ever going to get better and better, so definitely an exciting time for racing and racing games and sim racing altogether. It's getting bigger and bigger. I see posts daily now. A couple of years ago, like, you know, I might see a post like every month or so that someone's bought a new wheel in one of these groups or something, and it's like almost daily now someone's buying Fanatic stuff or buying a Thrustmaster or whatever and taking it that bit more seriously and wanting to get a wheel and actually experience it on that level rather than just on the pad. Nothing wrong with playing on the pad, and there's a lot of good players on the pad. Not saying anything wrong about the pad. If you like the pad, you like the pad, but anyone that's used the wheel or used the wheel and enjoyed it and done it for a while is certainly will know what I'm on about. Never go back to a pad after using a wheel. But each to their own. Anyway, actually get back to the racing. So we've got Stepstones. I'm going to change up the views again as well because it's pretty hard to see what's going on in that view sometimes. So we've got Stepstones followed by B. Cooney, giving him a bit of pressure. B. Cooney down the inside actually. Does he hold the place? Yeah. Yeah, very good move. Good clean move. Stepstones just giving him that little bit of room, but didn't have to do anything massive to avoid B. Cooney's move. So nice clean racing again. It's always good to see. Jacob following as well in the GTR. So we've got AMG Jag, GTR. This is what's good about this league as well, the fact that pretty much everyone's in different cars, and you've still got really close racing, really close down the straights, you know, even though there's slightly faster cars and slightly faster acceleration at times from certain cars, it's all in all, it's pretty even. Especially if you've gone to the effort of doing a bit of practice and tuning it, which I know us guys at the top certainly are probably doing. Hint hint. I say it was guys at the top, I'm not at the top, I don't know why I said it as me. The people at the top definitely probably tuning the cars. So if you haven't been in tuning, maybe think about having a look at the basics of it. Something I'm getting into in this game. I've done it a bit more detailed in other games, but not really ever bothered in Gran Turismo. Just always gone with like the default settings pretty much. But start getting into it now and start enjoying it as well. It makes testing a lot more enjoyable actually. Having something to test really, rather than just learning a car and a track. I don't really need to learn that many tracks, because apart from the new one that's just been released actually. But other than that, I remember this little moment. I'm actually going to go back here just to give this a bit of context. So, who is it? Bro down the inside, and I was down the outside, so I just tried to get the cut back on him. And then as I came out of the corner, I felt anyway, I don't mean this in any bad way, bro, but yeah, I felt it just didn't give me enough space really, and forced a bit of an error from both of us. You ended up hitting me, which obviously a bit of an error from you, and put me into the wall, so massive error from me. So yeah, bit of a moment, and I feel like, oh god, it's happened again. So I had a massive moment at the beginning of the race, and that was a massive moment again that's just completely thrown me off. Then I've gone, because I didn't realise that there was a guy right behind me going into the hairpin, or going to be flying right up behind me. I ended up messing that up as well. So yeah, anyway, completely messed up a race. That's enough about me. But I managed to just get my head down and get back into it eventually. So back into, where am I actually? Just out of interest, sorry. Got back into 9th place on the 12th lap, and I hit on the next lap I think, again. So who was that pitting? That's Bro pitting. Maybe with a bit of damage from a little bit of contact from me, I don't know. Well, Cooney in 13th, looking at the back of Broad coming out of the pits. Now we'll get back up to the top. Ginger Tim in 11th, Phoenix in 10th, sorry. Me, Adey Gee in 9th, Coulson in 8th, 7th, SimFx Skid Guru, Stetstones, B Cooney and Jacob Carger in 4th. Then we'll follow this for a bit. This looks pretty good. Everyone pretty close. Let's go back into the old cinematic again. And I'm going to have a little cigarette. Whilst I do that, where's my lighter? Sorry if you don't like smoking. Again, apologising. There it is. So everyone's into the pits. Not everyone, but a few people diving into the pits together there. So Stetsons and Basinger, I think, going down the order. Jacob as well, so all three of them. Puts Mulsanne back into 5th, so it's looking not good all of a sudden for Mulsanne. Just currently done his fastest lap as well of a 1:37.860, so good lap. It's all coming back to Mulsanne. Found himself down in 10th after that stop, but he's back up into, I think it was 10th anyway, my memory's not the best. I think it was 10th, he was in earlier, and yep, back up into 5th, so good moves from him, good racing. Okay, good consistent racer, Paul, looking good. Oh, look at this. Phil retaking the lead off B. Cooney again. But B. Cooney's not having it, giving him a good fight on the exit there. The too fat to fly GTI runs him wide a little bit. No contact though, good healthy racing. Healthy. Kind of a description's that, but you know what I mean. So let's see if Cooney can actually stick with him and give him a bit of grief. Good livery they've done there, I like that. Nice little blend on the doors. So Paul following. And then we've got Mulsong right on the back of Skid Guru now. Slipstreaming him down the straight. Need a drink. So Skid Guru's definitely looking for a chance here. Sorry, Mulsong on Skid Guru. Skid Guru's feeling the pressure, and it looks like Mulsong's probably going to get the run on him. Yeah, he does do. So just the different lines taken into that corner, going defensive and taking the natural line, ended up with the exit lines being completely different, and Mulsong winning out from it there with the undercut. Skid Guru into 5th. Good racing though again. Must say I'm thoroughly enjoying this league so far. A bit of a bad race this one for me, but I enjoyed it in the end. I managed to come back into it, and yeah, it was a good race. I hope everyone else is enjoying it as much as me, because yeah, it's a good league to be in. I'm happy I'm racing in it anyway, put it that way. It seems very competitive, which is what I'm after. I don't want to be racing against people I can beat every week. The Setstones in the Jag as well, different livery completely to ours. Naturally I prefer ours, but I'm just biased. Fuji Timmy 10th. And I'm in 12th at the moment with my second pit stop. I've had 2 pit stops within 14 laps. And I actually pitted again as well, so I did a 3-stop race, but I made it work. I keep going back to myself, I don't know why. I'm really got a lot to say with the action going on, sorry. If you heard that burp, I'm sorry as well. And again, I'm sorry for saying sorry's sake. I'll try and make that last one. It's annoying me now. Never mind you guys. Assuming anyone actually watches this. I always think that when I'm doing these videos. I always think, am I just talking to myself for like an hour here? Well, I literally am, but is anyone actually going to ever hear it? Anyway, don't think those pints have helped me. I'm not really as focused as I was on the racing last week. So, not Mulsong. I'm focused on Mulsong because he's probably the only one giving us any action at the moment. Phil 1979 in 1st still. Paul K in 2nd, still in those positions at pretty much started the racing. Mulsong 1st. What is wrong with me? Mulsong 3rd. Basinger 4th. Skid Guru switch up the camera angles, let's get some perspective on the distance between people. So there's only really Skid Guru and Basinger with in sight at the moment. I don't know, we've got Phoenix and B Cooney that are pretty close. look back, and we've got Stearns chasing as well. So being cautious for that. It's tempting sometimes to dive down the inside into that corner, but I find 9 times out of 10 it goes wrong if you're too far back. You really have got to be close to each other to be able to make it work. Same into here really. Can't really get away with a massive dive from too far back. Don't get me wrong, not encouraging no one to ever go, you know, don't go for overtakes, do whatever you like, but just my opinion I suppose. Some corners that I don't think are actually possible to overtake round really, but obviously everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Some corners are a bit trickier than others to overtake round, granted, and it can get it done, but I think some corners just genuinely can't do it without contact, so just don't bother. I always feel like I'm missing some action somewhere doing this. Just watching one person for a while. So we're just still watching Phoenix following B Kune down the straight into the first corner. On lap 17 now, so we're 28 and a half minutes into the race. We're not looking at another set of stops anytime soon. So these are going to be the positions for this stint really. So Phil again looking incredibly strong in first. Paul K again looking good up there. He's having a very good race. Mulson looking good. He keeps, every time I see him he's going up the order. And who else? Bazinger, Skid Guru, everyone's having a good race towards the front here now. Just all got that gap and all just getting in those laps. If you look on the right hand side, there's some good laps going on. Did start reading them out last week, but it seemed to take forever, and I end up wanting to read everyone's out if I'm going to start doing it. So then we end up missing action, and so yeah, if you want to have a look, they're all there on the right hand side for fastest times and stuff, and how consistent people are. So a similar gap really between these guys. Looks like Phoenix is just struggling to keep with B Cooney through those last couple of corners and stick with him into that last corner onto the straight to get the slipstream. So just struggling a few laps, but still putting in decent times and having a decent race. Just needs to get back in that slipstream ideally. Big gap between the guys in front. Well, I don't know about big gap, but definitely a gap between the guys in front. Can't see each other at the moment. B Cooney just concentrating on keeping it neat now. He knows he's pulled a bit of a gap to Phoenix. He just needs to continue his progress. I'm sorry if you don't agree with what I say, by the way. I'm just assuming talk as I'm you and I know what you're thinking, but I'm just trying to generalise what I'd be thinking if I were going in that stage of the race and everything. So Stearns heading in. I feel like I've seen this Jag loads. Jacob. Again, not lending itself to brilliant commentary this, so please do bear with me. If you do like these videos as well, I'll be continuing all the way through the season, doing a replay video with commentary over it, so subscribe, like my videos and all that kind of crap. I hate saying it, but it's what kind of gets this going a little bit, so I'm actually not just a nobody that no one knows. And yeah, if you like what I'm doing, feel free to promote me. Ooh, So me having a bit of an attack on road there, but kept it clean. Not the smoothest of moves from me, but kept it clean, and I'm up into 9th now, looking to get on the back of Jacob. That's all I ever think when I'm racing. I'm not worried about Broad straight away. As soon as I get past, I'm just thinking I caught him fast enough. I shouldn't have to worry about him when I get past him. Right, straight on to Jacob now. Where is he? Where is he? So yeah. And where is he? Let's have a look. So he's gone through the hairpin, and where am I? I'm coming up to the hairpin. So got a bit to catch him. Let's keep with the guys up front. Seems where the action is. No, not right up front anyway. Still a gap to all those guys. Stetstone's following Phoenix now. Phoenix up into 5th. So just go quickly back through the order. We're on lap 19. We're pretty much halfway, just over halfway through the race. Lap 1. First is Phil 1979, Paul Kane 2nd, Mulson in 3rd, Bazinger in 4th, Phoenix in 5th, 6th is Stetstone's, 7th is Jacob, 8th is Adey Gee 123, 9th is Broad J Balala, just actually say your name right for a change, SimFx Skid Guru, B Cooney in the pits in 11th, probably drop down into 12th if not further. Oh no, L Cooney 2K following him in, so the Cooney brothers, I don't know if they are brothers, I've no idea, but highly unlikely actually. It's pretty coincidental we've got the same kind of name. And then yeah, we've got, I've forgotten where I was, but we've got, who did I read out? Skid Guru in 10th, P Cooney now in 11th, coming out of the pits I think. Oh, I've lost it completely. Ginger Tim in 12th, L Cooney 2K, that's the one in the pits. Yeah, they both were in the pits. And then SimFx F1 Smurfy in 14th. Jesus. Right, back up. Let's go through the order and let's just see the gaps. Sorry about flicking through so fast. We'll go back to the cinematic as well, it makes it look better even if you're just watching one car. So we'll stick with Stetstone's, he looks like he's probably closest to anyone at the moment, and it looked like Phoenix might have just been pitting there. Yep, he has. So Stetstone's up into 4th, and it looks like Mulson's pitted again, so Mulson dropping down the order at the moment. Phoenix in the pits as well. I've just said that, sorry. So we'll join them coming out of the pits. Where did they come out and did they have any trouble? So I'm actually going around the outside of Mulson as he comes out of the pits. Do I make it stick? I can't actually remember this. So yeah. And now watching this replay back, knowing that Mulson's had a good race other than that moment when he was in first and he dropped back with that mistake, he's had a good race I consider watching this back, so good to see me in front of him and certainly keep it for a few corners, if not keep it all together. Nope, looks like I'm going to lose it. So Mulson now on the outside, me on the inside. I've got the inside line who's giving me loads of room there. It's good to see. Get it done on the braking. Good red brakes from the AMG. So yeah, almost like I've pulled a tiny gap, but not enough to break the slipstream. So, oh, what's that going on from, who's that? Jacob there, Jacob with a mistake, so drops back and joins onto the back of our train, makes it a 3-car train, heading onto the, is this the straight? Yep, we're on the straight. So I'm in 5th now. I've actually made up quite a few places, back into 5th position. Started in 4th, so nearly back to where I started. And then Mulson's gone down the inside, I've gone wide, giving plenty of room. I try and avoid contact at all times if possible. Not always possible on the fast chicanes where you're very close to each other and stuff, but if it's a hairpin or anything, I try and go the alternative line to the person, so we give each other plenty of room naturally with the undercut and the him going wide on the exit, or vice versa, whatever. You know what I mean? So I find myself chasing Mulson now. About the same gap that I had to him last lap at this stage. So I'm thinking about my third stop at this point actually, because I remember thinking there's only 20 minutes left, near enough. I might go on to my third stop and go on to softs again. I just stuck on the soft tyre through this race, all the way through, didn't touch the mediums. But I did have an alternative pit stop race, because I had to do it so early. So Mulson's pulling a bit of a lead to me there, Basinger in the pits. Getting fueled up for the next stint. Gone quite early on the he's gone onto the soft tyre and it's gone quite early onto the soft, so it'd be interesting to see where Basinger comes in the end, and if he ends up making up places and then dropping back down with that early stop. Phil 1970, don't know why I'm reading your last name, your last name. Interesting last name. Phil in first still. Brings tears to my eye to see every time I look. Paul K Gaming, it's good to see, to be honest, Phil, but at the same time you're already running away with this championship, 2 wins in a row. Oh, I've spoiled the end. Stetson's in third. I think the bulk of the action, or the closest action, is still between me and where's the view? Yep. Me and Mulson and Basinger now following me. Using my dirt rally 2 skills to the maximum there out of that corner. Why not go for the drifty technique? So it looks like I've got a bit of rear end damage from somewhere as well. So I'm into the pits this lap. So Basinger heads up into 4th. So Stetson's is in the pits as well. So Basinger looking good now. He's just done his probably last stop and he's up into 4th. Skid Guru in 5th. So order seems to be changing around quite a bit now, apart from the top. They've been pretty consistent all the way through the race. The Skid Guru definitely doing well now. I think he started towards the back as well. Sorry if you didn't. But if I remember rightly in qualifying, when I read it out, you were towards the back, so very good race to see you in 5th. Obviously got a good race to there. Phoenix in 6th, and we find B. Cooney just diving down the inside there, but still cleanly done, very nice move. Wasn't expecting it because I didn't look back, but almost a good surprise having that little bit like that, little moment. So yeah, didn't see that one coming. Then Phoenix flew past him. So I might focus a little bit. I hope you don't mind, but focus a little bit on my me a little bit more towards the end, because I just got my head down and had quite a good last stint, and it made all the difference to my race really. So I just got on it basically and started putting in as fast as I could times, risking everything every lap, but I managed to get it done, and get something out of it, so managed to get a decent race at the end. In the end of it. So Stetson's has got a massive lead to me. Sorry, lead to me in 8th there, and then in front we've got Phoenix and B Cooney battling. B Cooney looks like he's looking fruity here, so I think, as I said earlier, it's quite interesting to see Phoenix, which went onto the early tyre, went onto the soft tyre for his last stint early. No, was it? Or was it Passenger? Oh god, I can't remember. I think it was Phoenix. Correct. I was probably completely wrong. I apologise if I am. But I think he went onto the soft tyre very early compared to everyone else. Looks like he's already struggling a little bit compared to how B Coon is just taking a bit of a lead straight away from him. So Coon is looking at the back of Skid Guru straight away, mind you. Credit to Phoenix saying that, almost like he's listening as we're racing here, and he's just put his foot down and got right back on the back of him. But Skid Guru looks like he's holding up Cooney at the same time a little bit, so interesting little battle going on in front, and for Phoenix to get involved in. And who gets onto the straight nicely? All of them. Phoenix looks like he struggles a little bit with his slipstream, but he will end up reeling him in eventually. Maybe not to the point of an overtake, but he'll get closer. Needs to keep in that slipstream, Phoenix. Keeping it. So yeah, got Cooney down the inside of Skid Guru yet again. It's a good move though. Again, all I can say is really good driving for the most part through this race. I know we had a few issues with the actual beginning of the race and the time when it started and everything, a bit delayed, but I just tried to keep calm, and then I think a few of us just started messing about, spinning, just doing donuts and stuff in first corner. So that entertained me anyway for a good 5-10 minutes, so however long it took to sort out. But yeah, it's one of them things. I'm glad I'm not hosting, so I won't say anything, because I know I'd be exactly the same. I'd make mistakes and then everyone would be like, oh for God's sake. But it's one of them things, and we all bear with each other. We're not all professionals at this. Well, no one's a professional, I believe. Otherwise I think you'd be I don't think you'd be on Gran Turismo, to be honest. But hey ho, I'm sure there is a professional Gran Turismo driver out there somewhere, and you could argue those people as, I forget the names, but those people who've gone through the Gran Turismo Academy are professional Gran Turismoers in a way, since as though they've made a whole racing career out of it by going through the GT Academy. That's the name, GT Academy, all held at Silverstone, which you can actually go and do, by the way, if you want to do yourself, or something similar. Like a week's intensive race driver training. You get a racing license included for track driving, tuition, telemetry, mechanics, you know, all sorts of stuff going on. Basically like race tuition for a week, and it costs about like 3-4 grand or something. I don't know if it actually exists anymore, but a couple of years ago I remember looking into it, and I did actually seriously think about paying for it, but it was just too much money. I couldn't bring myself to pay for it, so never ended up doing it. But there is stuff out there if you want to do this kind of stuff and do it with an instructor and get taught through it all. It just costs a lot of money, that's all. If you got the money, get into it. If you got the money, buy a banger and go rallying actually, but it costs you about 300 quid, but there you go. That's just me. I haven't done it, don't get me wrong, but that's what I'd do. I've only done a few track days. Sorry, I'm talking about myself loads because there's no racing going on. I hope you don't mind. Yeah, Skid Guru is still following Phoenix. We're not a lot to say really. Phoenix following Cooney. Good little gap between them. Stetsons. So we're getting a bit of a train going now, down the straight. Looks like everyone's tyres are coming good. I joined the train as well, coming onto the straight. Mulson lacking behind a little bit, but... And again, sorry for the guys at the back not featuring you. I feel bad in a way, but just repeat myself. I'm just trying to catch the action. So every time I've looked back there, I'm seeing a lot of action going on. So flick back up towards the middle normally. I really like this corner, I don't know why. I seem to make up time through that corner as well, so get onto the back of Stetston's just on the result of that corner really. And I'm all of a sudden looking for an overtake down the inside into this next corner now. Can I do it? Most importantly, can I do it cleanly? So just backed out really, gave him the space, he gave me the space, so give him the respect back and didn't do anything stupid and force any contact out. Again, what I was saying earlier, some corners you've just got to give up the place. If you don't get the overtake done, you haven't got the overtake done, just drop in behind again and try again in a few corners time when you manage to get it right. It's key to clean racing is having that kind of attitude. Not every chance is a genuine chance. When you get into it, you might be that little bit too far behind or mess up your braking, so you have to back out of it. You can't go for every chance. Anyway, I'm not preaching to anyone. Don't feel that I'm aiming that at anyone in particular. I'm just saying. Anyway, down the inside of Skid Guru now, and Stetston's goes wide all on his own, so I pick up 2 places just going into that corner from 8th into 6th, so woo, I'm proper happy at that point. And as we can see in front as well, we'll go join them. Phoenix battling with B. Cooney right behind him. Let's see what these guys get up to. So B. Cooney going a bit wide, sacrificing his line into the next corner. Again going really wide and having to brake late because he just had to get it gathered up before he could get on the brakes. I'm just going to quickly flick up front, make sure there's still a gap between them, there's not a lot going on yet. Sorry again guys at the front, I haven't really featured you that much. Again, just not where the action's been. I'm sure you had a good race and you enjoyed it yourselves personally, but just trying to do my best for the general action. So I've now got into 5th, got past Phoenix there, missed it, but not quite. I can't quite remember how I did it. We're on the straight, so it looks like I got it done in the last corner. So I was having a very bad race at the start. I've come back quite good, and if you look in the background, there's loads of cars. So it's all starting to get a bit close between everyone with the different strategies going on. And people on faster tyres coming through from the back. So this is the interesting last 10 minutes really. And again, I'll just repeat myself because I think it's going to turn off in a minute. There's going to be a second video to actually take up the last couple of laps and pick them up on a second video, so check it out on YouTube, or I'll link it in the description as well below. So yeah, there'll be a second video to actually finish off this race because it cuts off after an hour recording basically. So I know I mentioned it at the beginning, but if anyone's skipped and not watched everything, so just repeating it. So yeah, there is a second video, so just to explain that it probably will cut off after an hour, and I don't know when that's going to be because I didn't start the race straight away, so the hour down at the bottom don't make any difference. Anyway, I'm into 4th. Bit of a drift on the exit, doing it in style. At this point I'm thinking, what the hell how have I managed this? B Cooney into 5th now, and Phoenix trying to slipstream him. Stearns looks like he's got a bit of trouble from Mulsanne. What happens here? It's looking good. Mulsanne's got it on the brakes, controlled properly, so no problems. But up ahead, B Cooney's just lost the place to Phoenix. B Cooney's having a last couple of nightmare laps towards the end here. Looks like either his tyres have gone off or he's just lost that little bit of focus maybe. So Mulsanne's all over the back of Stetson's here. This is good. Stetson's probably feeling the pressure, definitely knows he's there. At the same time he's trying to get onto the back of B Cooney. It's all getting very exciting all of a sudden. Phoenix leading the group. And looking back, there's SimFx Skid Guru who's catching as well. So if Skid Guru gets in a bit closer, it's going to be 5 cars together here. This is good to see. Eventually, we're 52 minutes into the replay and we get a bit of action, but it's good. I know every race, I said this in the last video that I did for last week, but I know. So we've got B Cooney pitting there. Feels he can't just last that last bit of time, but it might be fuel actually, I don't know. But yeah, had to pit towards the end. Going to definitely be fast when he comes out on his new tyres though, so it'll be interesting where B Cooney can get in the end from where he's just pitted from. So we've got Phoenix been chased down by Stetson's now. Bit of a shame B Cooney went into the pits. It's made the gaps a bit bigger again. We've got Mulsanne chasing Stetson's and he's going down the inside. Stetson's, oh excuse me, oh Jesus, double burp. Stetson's holding the outside line and managing to hold it. Looked like he just had a moment on the curb there, which made all the difference. That's Mulsanne round the outside. Let's see if we can hold it here. Oh no, it's gone a bit wide. Still managed to scatter it up and keep the apex pretty narrow through there. So Stetson's missing the opportunity to come back in. So Mulsanne making up those last couple of places towards the end of the race as well. Coming through with decent tyres again, probably just that little bit better than the guys around him, and with the tyres, and just making up all the pace with it, especially slipstreaming as well on the straights, and getting the better exit more than likely with the fresher tyres. Seems like you can almost reel a person in one lap towards the extremes of the tyres. Someone on extremely worn tyres towards fresh tyres. It really does feel like you can just pull someone in within a lap almost. Just if you can see them in front, you can nearly do it. Well, you pretty much can anyway. A bit of contact there by the look of it. A bit of a messy moment from both of them. Not judging you guys, but we are an hour into this race. It's hard to concentrate for this long. Phoenix looks like he's having a bit of a weird one at the moment, to be honest. I don't know what's going on there. Looks like he's slowed right down and he's trying to definitely making it hard for Mulsanne to pass. He's got past now though. So Phoenix pulls in behind, and then we've got Stetson's getting onto the back of Phoenix now. Mulsanne already doing a good job of pulling a little bit of a lead, so Phoenix in, down the inside of him straight away. He can take his natural lines, can Mulsanne, without worrying about defending. He's instantly pulled a little bit of a gap. Oh, looks like we joined Paul then, just flicking through, having a moment. Probably got enough pace and time between everyone to it don't make much difference, but caught you there, Paul. Sorry, just had a little moment, but you're that far ahead.